Hello. Wow, it's cold here. Well, hello there. Hello and welcome to the Space Between Ideas. I'm Frozen Icicle Blaine, and it's really cold. I think outside it's like -4 or -5. Inside the apartment, it's now 5 degrees. I got this one neighbor, and she was telling me, like, hey, like even inside the apartment, it doesn't go below 8 degrees, even in the winter, because I was worried about my pipes. I was thinking like, well, if I take a vacation during the winter, are there going to be any problems with the pipes? She's like, no, no, no. It never goes below 8 degrees. But she has an apartment above hers, and she has an apartment on that wall. That the full side of her apartment is another apartment, and then on this side of her apartment, also half of her apartment has another apartment next to it. More than half. Okay, I see how that works. Anyways, but my apartment, I'm right on the edge. So like my north wall is outside, my west wall is outside. Like I border with the outside, and my south wall also borders with the outside. I have three walls of windows, and also the dog. Like his room is open to the balcony, and I have the balcony door open all the time. And then like even his door to his room is like open. I guess I could close that, but it won't really matter. Anyway, so it's 5 degrees inside my apartment right now, and it is -5 degrees outside. But it's good news because it just means that, like, even when it's like -5 degrees outside, it's still okay inside. My pipes are not going to freeze. I'm going to freeze, but not the pipes. Anyways, now as you can see by all of the lovely layers, I'm a designer. I'm a designer. Um, and it's time for us to do some designing. How are we going to design? You ready to design? Let's see if we can add a chat. Are you ready to do some designing? Okay, well, let's begin. Now, how do we start this process? Let's jump into the OG document, the very like the original document, like the document that said it all something, and you want to go from MVP to IPO. Was it's in I didn't know it's in this folder. All right. All right. So you have to answer some key questions, and the key questions are this: do you own the product? Are you the product designer? Are you the product owner? So if you don't own the product, it means that somebody else owns that product, and then you have to buy the product from them, and then you sell it to other people. This is a marketing move. So you're a distributor, and you either have to build up a physical store or you have to build a store online, and then you have to figure out how to do marketing to send traffic to that store. Or you own the product. Now, in that case, then you have some questions. Okay, so do you also own the store, or are you just making a product? So, for example, like on Udemy or on Preply. So, Udemy, you make some online course, or even Preply, you're a teacher, and you put yourself on like, their website, and then they sell you as a teacher. You're their product, but you own your own product. You can decide what you're going to teach. But the problem with being a service is that you have to work by the hour. But if you design some kind of product, then you can sell the units. And then you have to decide, is an item like an online course where you sell it once and that's it? Then you have to find another person to buy your course, or is it a subscription where people are paying every month? So from a financial perspective, it seems like a subscription is a pretty good deal because once you have some customers, then they're going to be paying every month for that product. And if it's a product and it's a subscription product, then you can continue to get more and more and more customers who are paying you every month. So that's the key is how do I build a product which is a subscription based product, which means It's probably not going to be a physical product. It's going to be a digital product. Now, suddenly we have these things called software SaaS products. And so I spent the last 10 years of my life doing interviews and trying to figure out how to build some kind of product. And after all this research, I built something very complicated. So I got this is the concept behind the product, and based on my understanding of how people manage people and projects. And then I turned it into the foundation behind it. Like I have a very clear ideology of how the system works. But the problem is that I turned it into like a real product, and it's like well, it's called Barrowhead. So I started saying, okay, I want to like focus on like unblocking ADHD managers. How do I unblock ADHD managers? So okay, we got to have this question like, where are we going? We got 5 questions to talk about vision. Why are we doing it? So let's talk about the objectives. Like, why are we doing these specific objectives in order to get to this vision? So it's like, let's say that you're a pirate, right? So you're a pirate and your destination is America. And then you're like, all right, so let's brainstorm how are we going to get to America? And then let's choose a path to America. And then let's turn those objectives into actually a task list. So one group, let's say we have 3 ships. One ship decides to go up, one ship to the right, one ship to the left. They all have the vision of going to America, but they brainstormed and decided to choose 3 different paths. So all 3 of those, based on the path that they choose, they have to come up with some task lists. Then they're going to assign those tasks to the different people on their team, and they have to follow up with those people. All right, so this is a manager, right? The executive, well, basically the executives here, they set the vision, and then the manager is the person who has to translate the executive's ideas into the objectives and the tasks. Then the rest of the team is just tasks. So here you have to like make decisions about how you're gonna. So all right, so in here, remember we have a task list. So then what we want to do is we're going to break those tasks down into subtasks, and then understand what's the difference between a subtask and a recurring task. So, I started to build this like super duper de duper awesome uh website. Like I love my website. I love everything about it. And I mean not everything, but I love lots and lots of things about it. But the issue is that it's really complicated. And as I've started to think about how I'm going to market this product, all right, so like here's my website here, right? So I got the free version of the website. On the website, this is the manager, right? So the manager is going to go through these 17 modules, and then they're going to build a task list. It's no, I just did something wrong. It's these 17 questions right here, and then building your task list. I did not add the vision. It's not for the executive. It's really for the manager. But the issue is like, as far as the manager is concerned, there's already products on the market that do exactly this thing. Maybe they don't have products on the market that do this exactly the way that I think it should be done, but they definitely have products that are doing this. And the question is like, am I ready to compete directly with the industry standard, the people who are already like cleaning it up, who are like already have tons and tons of customers? The answer is no. So you can see that if we talk about the vision of me as an entrepreneur, me as like a MVP, like a person who's trying to create an MVP, someone who's trying to create a product, then the reality of the situation is I'm trying to get product market fit. And we're going to start with pre-product market fit. So the pre-product market fit, it means some type of like monthly recurring revenue. Apparently 0, right? Month over month growth. So like you're getting less than $500 of growth each month, meaning new customers, new subscriptions. Anything that's less than $5,000 a month, means you don't have product market fit. All right, so then how do I get product market fit? Conducting customer interviews, building relationships with early users and gaining trust, prioritizing critical, refining core features, focus on refining core features, identifying your ideal customer profile, experimenting with different value propositions, testing one or more marketing channels. So you can see common pitfalls: insufficient new leads, ignoring negative feedback, underestimating the value of underestimating the value of customer conversations, taking your audience initial use to the sign. I don't know what that says. Undervaluing on user onboarding. So it's all about your first couple customers and trying to understand what is it that they need, what is it that they want, how can you better serve them, which means that it's all about customer interviews, conducting customer interviews. That's stop number one. Okay, okie dokie dokie. So, this software, and what happens is that the people, like the guys who are the executives, that they have a vision already, they don't need a tool. They already know their vision. They're not. You don't need 5 vision questions for like a guy who's like already has a vision. Okay, so who needed that vision? Oh, it was me, because I'm just learning how to be an entrepreneur. So I was one who needed to learn about the vision questions. So this is kind of like training. So this is training for like low level managers who want to up their game as a manager. So they need to understand that executives have vision, and what is their vision comprised of? Okay, there's 5 vision questions. And then you're a low level manager, or maybe you're not even a manager yet. And the question is, well, as a manager, like, how can I help my manager to understand what objectives we should pursue? So then you can start to have conversations with your manager about like brainstorming about how to make choices and how to turn those objectives into a task list. And then maybe your manager doesn't have some project management software. I think most people these days everybody has project management software. So it's like, okay, well, you know, what's the basis of project management software? And then how do you follow up? So I just feel like this is just really, really big, a really big piece of software. And there's just endless bugs. And actually the biggest problem is, how do I get people to bite? The key question here is, the key problem here is this thing, the concept. Like, this is the app, right? No, I need to get them into the app, and then, so what I want them to do is I want them to create a project, and then after they create the project, then I want them to identify the vision of the project. And then I want them to they have to decide if they already have an objective in mind. And then I need them to go through if they do have an objective, then I need to turn that objective into a to-do list. And if they don't have the clear objective yet, then I need them to brainstorm that objective and then make a choice. It's just like, what do you mean? You want people to do all those steps? How about you personally? Where are you? Personally, I'm right here. All tasks complete? No. Right? So then do a touch base. Update your task list. Are all tasks complete? No. Right? So then do a touch base. Like, what are you working on? What are you going to do today? What do you need help with? What are some potential sources of assistance? Like, these are the questions I need to be asking myself every morning. What are you working on? Why? Because all tasks have not been completed. I started 5 different software projects. Not all of the tasks are completed for any of them. I started building stuff for how to automate marketing stuff. And remember, I have this one, hold on, let me move this one over here so I can show it to you. this one like chief of staff, Gemini. He says, "Look, we got this rabbit race goal tracker app. We got this like some kind of head of automation, some kind of automation tool, and we got some like make videos tool, and we got like a marketing manager tool, and then we got like a personal finance tool, and then we got this." So it's like, what do you mean? Like you haven't finished any of these? What are you trying to do here? What's the point? What's the process? What, like focus on something. Like what have you shipped? What is it that I can actually get my eyes on? But it's not only that, but the issue is what is this idea MVP, minimal viable product? It's not just like how can you build a simple app or how can you build a simple piece of software that people will actually use. The idea is like people don't necessarily understand even the problem that they have. If they're going to be able to understand your software, then they have to recognize their own pain. And they have to recognize the logic behind your software. And the onboarding process has to be simple enough for them to learn how to do it. So this is basically the foundation of an educational product. I'm teaching people what is the product cycle? What are the cycles within product management? 1 cycle here, 2 cycle here, 3 cycle here, 4 cycle here. There's 4 cycles. And it's just too much. It's even too much for me. Okay, so we need to strip it down. Strip it down until what do we have? Well, oops. Well, we have this. All right, so I'm gonna pull this section here. This is at the very bottom. Before you're gonna like be deciding on the vision of like some company, you're gonna have to learn how to make decisions about objectives. And before you're able to make decisions about objectives, you're gonna have to learn how to manage a to-do list and follow up with your team. And before you learn how to manage a to-do list and follow up your team, you're gonna have to learn how to get things done. I mean, identify subtasks and recurring tasks and put them into a timeline and get them done. So it means that the app that I'm building first, if I build this first and I have a whole bunch of users, and then eventually they're like, yeah, I like it, it's really good. But how do I get this? How do I connect this with my to-do list app? So then I build some kind of integration so this can go directly into ClickUp or Monday.com. So then they're like, yeah, I like it because it integrates with my Monday.com. I'm already using Monday.com. I'm already using ClickUp. And it integrates directly into my system. So I had a pain point. It resolves the pain point exactly how I need it to be resolved. And it integrates with my current system. Great, perfect. If it integrates with your current system, then why am I building all this other stuff? There's already software that does all this stuff. So I'm just like building an add-on to something that everybody's already using. It's like, imagine you have a hose. All right, let's talk about water, garden, hose, nozzle. So imagine like 100 years ago, after they designed the garden hose, and then they had to design all these nozzles. So I just designed a nozzle. There's already hoses. There's a million kinds of hoses, and I'm saying I'm going to build a hose first. Everybody, like every house has a hose. You don't need a hose. If you could design a better nozzle, then you can sell nozzles. And then once you're selling nozzles, then people know that your nozzle is good. And then suddenly there's one dude and he's like, hey, like I like your nozzle and like but I don't have a hose. And it's like, all right, so then I can build the hose after I build the nozzle because the hose already exists. Everybody has a hose. And maybe everybody has a nozzle, but I think it's easier to sell a nozzle than it is to sell a hose. I don't even know what I'm talking about, actually. Okay, so now let's talk about, because the whole point of video is talk about design. Now, my opinion about design is that you should base your design. I mean, like, what tool are you going to use to design? That's really the question here. What tools are you going to use? All right, I'm going to stop for a second because I want to share the whole window rather than just a tab. I think that this tab thing is not working the way I want it. Okay. Yeah, that's way better. That's exactly what I wanted to do. All right. So today's design day number 1. Here's our Google Doc. Here's our Mira board. Here is a Google slide. And I turned the slide into the mobile app. We're going to design mobile first because I think this is really key. When we were talking about this, you see how just naturally when you look at this, it's like this is for your computer. This is not it's not a mobile experience. You can tell by the dimensions. And when you look at my website, you can also see it's like this is designed for a computer. It's not designed for a mobile phone. Then you jump into the first thing, and all right, let's shrink. So I mean, it's possible to do this with a mobile. I'm not saying it's not possible, and it is like this isn't mobile design. This is a computer design. But then on the other hand, this video for YouTube is computer first. So I'm just going to put it back to computer first design for now. Okay. Okay. So this is our design target. And the first question that we want to answer is, do you want to design based on like using a Google Doc page? Like what you see right now, is this what you want? Is this your design mat? Is this your design space? Or are you like more like this? Now see how the design, if you look closely, you can see that I actually designed it in a Google Doc first. And then I took screenshots of it. There's also this opportunity here to build using Google Slides. I don't see there's no problem with building with Google Slides. Why not? So now, what am I trying to build? This is the wrong one. This one. Okay, so I did some brainstorming. Also, I said, all right, so I've done some thinking and I want you to just basically think for a minute here. So basically, let's say, I just talk with AI, and then AI said, okay, so here, this is what you want. Part number 1. Part number 1 is some kind of onboarding flow summary. It means when somebody opens your app, how easy is it for them? All right, let's go into the hook. Because if you want product market fit, right, it means that you're getting people hooked. So you need to have some solution to their needs and problems. There's two major issues. One is they have to recognize that the solution that you're offering is a solution to their need or problem. So that it means they recognize their need and they recognize your product as a solution to that need. Okay. So it means that the onboarding process, it has to be what? So the trigger. Let's say that the trigger is some kind of social media or some kind of Reddit post or it's a LinkedIn post or it's an advertisement, it's a video, it's a whatever. So or it's in a forum or so it's anything where you'll use word of mouth marketing. Anytime where somebody becomes aware of your product. All right, let's jump into the concept of inbound marketing. Inbound. Huh. I deleted all my cookies a while ago, and here, let me just give me a second here. I'm going to jump into my Google Drive, other page, and write inbound marketing. Copy. Paste. There. Okay. So what we're talking about is this cycle here. We have some strangers, people have never heard of your product, and then so boom, right? We have awareness. We have to start with this thing called awareness. Now you see her, and then that consideration, right? Needs and solutions. So before someone is recognizes their own needs, and before they recognize that your product is a solution to their needs, they have to become aware of who you are. So somehow, somewhere, some why they see a image, they see a video, they hear some audio, someone told them, they saw something, they read something online, something happened, and then they're like, okay, I heard about this. Now, whatever they heard, there has to be some link, right? There has to be some method for that trigger to become they're entering into your app. They open up your app, and what your app it should have an immediate trigger. It should be telling them to take action immediately. And if you have this gigantic website like this, it's like, okay, so if somebody comes to my homepage, now, all right, so we have a big problem here. Why? Because they have three choices: brainstorming, make a decision, start objective. What do I do? I don't know. Or do I clear the session? Or do I view all the tasks? I don't know what to do. Start free trial, sign in, home. There's literally 25 different things that they can do on this page. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There's 30 things people can do. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 30. It's just crazy. There's just so many things to do. And so as soon as a person clicks says, I don't know what to do. What do I do? 17 questions for more better task lists. That doesn't even make sense. More better task lists. And what's with this design issue? Like, why does it bump down and bump up? So right away, the first thing that I do is I'm just completely overwhelmed and I just have no idea where to start here. Now, of course, I know what to do because I made it. Everything you see on here, I made with some software tools. But the point is I have to make it more simple. I have to make it easier for everybody. So it means we've got to take action. And depending on what happens after they take action, then it's going to create some kind of variable reward. And what's the issue here? Like, let's say that the person somehow they decide to click the step number one. They see a step number one, or maybe they click to like start brainstorming. And they're like, okay, save progress, add a new task. Okay, step instructions. The first step is to innovation is to understand the landscape. Look at what competitors, industry leaders, even successful entities in other fields are doing. Identify current trends is key to seeing the opportunities. How are others doing it? Have you figured out best practices? Talk to experts. Follow the trends so you can keep up with what's going on. Provide examples. This is a high level. Like this is for somebody who is like a high level entrepreneur or a high level manager. This is a mid level, mid like above mid level manager. You have to have significant experience before you read this and you're like, okay, yeah, I see what's going on. Obviously, you have to do benchmarking. And they're like, okay, so I got to do benchmarking. I get it. No problem. And then what? Now let's come up with some ideas. So now that you're done benchmarking, if we're going to get ahead, we need to think outside the box. What are some ideas we have? All right, everybody, let's talk about ideas. So this is a great management tool, but like for me to like correctly identify who in the world needs this tool and get them right in front of their face is, it's a lot of work. And this isn't even the paid version. This is the free version because what you're seeing here is just this. And then finally, once you like fill that all that stuff out and then you get to the task list, here's my task list management. I can add some tasks here. And then here, okay, so it's to do in progress done, right? That's here. That's how. And then where's the follow-up questions? The follow-up questions is in the paid version of the app. And where's the vision questions? It's in the paid version of the app. And then what's this? This is called the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker. I did actually build a Rabbit Race Goal Tracker. That's the fun thing about all this is that I actually do have a version of the Rabbit. In fact, I think it's here. Here it is. I have the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker right here. All right, so this is the 1.0 version of my Rabbit Race Goal Tracker. I started doing this a while ago, right? So this is the basis behind the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker. Now it's not perfect. It's not exactly what I'm looking for. It's pretty close though. And there's another thing that I want, which is it's called a dial. So if I sign in, I can show you. The dial is not completed yet. It's getting close. All right, let's click the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker and then down here. So this is the dial. So what we do is let's say we add a new private task. Go shopping. And then we subtask is get in the car and drive down the street. Wow, I don't like that. And then go in the store and grab stuff and then pay and come home. Okay, so what's the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker? Oh, what's the dial? What you do is you click this, click to choose the matrix cell. So click this one first, get in the car. All right, so it's not updated yet. This one is this one's the one. I'm working on the files on my computer. Anyway, so what happens in the one on my computer is you click this, and then you click this, and then this item will enter the dial. And then you click the second one, and then you click this, and then it enters into the dial. And that's what it's all about. So now this concept here, I think, is the simplest form of my app. And I feel like it is, I'm asking people to write down their tasks and then select which one's the most important. So now we're here. Now, the basic methodology behind this experience is that the name of the game is called subtasks. Working on subtasks, working micro improvements, doing a little bit each day means that you're going to make progress and eventually you're going to complete the task. Now, some of those subtasks are actually recurring tasks. So I'm not really sure what to do about the streak, but I think at some point we're going to be looking at some type of gamification related to the streak. Because if you're doing streaks, then of course you're talking about recurring tasks. Now, if you pick two and then decide which is the priority, that is the dial. So these are the two main functions of getting things done. I ask you a question. Okay, what are you doing with your time? And you're like, well, I'm doing subtasks. Okay, good. Are you doing single subtasks that don't happen again, or are you doing recurring subtasks? And you say, well, I'm doing both. Sometimes I do subtasks that are completed. I don't have to do it again. Sometimes I'm doing recurring tasks. Okay, when it comes to your recurring tasks, like, do you ever break the streak? Yeah, of course I break the streak. Would you find more success and joy in life if you maintain the streak? Yeah, of course. Okay, so having a streak of recurring tasks is important to you. Yeah. How about like, do you ever have a problem when like deciding which thing to do? Yeah, sometimes, yeah. And are you able to really focus on what matters the most? Yeah, to some extent, but then sometimes like I lose focus. All right, so it sounds like focus on important is a key theme. Yeah. And what's the overall project that we're working on? It's called Project Overhead. Overhead. Project Overhead. Working on something called Project Arrowhead. That's the overall project. And what's the specific function of this piece of the game? This is called the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker. Now, if we were going to compete with ourselves, like if we put two labels, like two different apps into the App Store, and it looks like the two apps are competing with each other, then what's another app? What's another theme that we could have, which is basically the same app, but like it's just different enough so it looks like it could be a competitor? How about Reverse Frogger? Get hit. Reverse Frogger, get hit. Nice, I like that. All right, so the idea is that like you're a frog, and actually what happens is like you're trying to get hit by your important tasks. Great. All right, wonderful. So everyone's good. So you got two themes for your product. Why does it have like little three dots underneath there? What happens if I click that? That's weird. Anyways. Okay. So our major goal is that we want to work on our project or Arrowhead, and our sub heading is focus on important. And right now we're building two different products, which are we're starting with the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker, and then we're going to clone that project, and then we're going to release it again as a frog version. We have a rabbit version and a frog version. Great. Okay. Now what? What's next? Well, I mean, honestly, probably we could use our own Rabbit Race Goal Tracker to track like what we're doing, right? So I'm just gonna reset progress. There we go. So, what is it that we're trying to do? Well, we need like a startup process. So we need a process, a startup process. What's a startup process? A startup process. It's like the first time that you go through the app, the first time that you're using the app. What are those screens called? Startup screens? Startup screens. Onboard experience. Onboarding screen. Okay, let's talk about the onboarding screens. Okay, now let's say we have 6 onboarding screens. What are they? Header, project error, focus on important. Okay, write down an important task or target you're working toward. Write down an important task or target you are working toward. Write down an important task or target that you're working toward. So you're asking them to what? What's something you need to get done? It's better. What's something you need to get done? Can you break it down into subtasks? Take action now. Can you break that down into subtasks or take action now? Now, if you could break it down, okay, so actionable subtasks, you go to screen 4. If you need to break it down, then it's screen 3. All right, so here's the thing. It's like, I want to do like, I want to have like a swipe. I want to be like, okay, so what's subtask 1? Subtask 1, swipe. Subtask 2, swipe. I like the swiping action. Subtask 3, swipe. But I don't like, why is it doing this? Right, so you see how, okay, so you see how I have the day 1. This is actually subtask 1, subtask 2, subtask 3, subtask 4. So on the first screen, like I'm going to enter in a text box. I need to draw this out. Now, are we going to do like, should we just draw it straight into one of these, or do we draw it on here first? I think it's easier for me to draw it on here. Just use these. All right. Okay, here's my screen. Let's get started. 1. Boom, there you go. Well, something needs to get done. So what's something needs to get done? Okay. There we go. What's something you need to get done? That's not the question. Can you break that down into subtasks or take action now? Okay, next is the swipe. So now the thing is that like I want to have the feeling like this. Like so we have subtask 1, and then so it's going to be there's like look there's a subtask 1, and then there's like another text box that goes in there that's going to be in a container. So what we do here is that's not going to work. Oh, it worked. Okay. Okay. All right. So title. From 1 of 5. All right. Well, anyways, it's a task because we're adding subtasks to it, so it means that's a task. And then let's enter step 1 and swipe right. What's going on with that? There you go. Swipe right after each step you input. Each step you write and click next. What? Yo. You don't. Why does it look like that? Done. Okay. Now this thing, I say I want to delete this. Let's cut that and put it down here. And hear that sound? I don't know if you can hear it. My dog's gonna go crazy. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I'm having a hard time focusing because the dog's gonna want to go for his run. Man, it's cold outside. You know, I go running or I ride my bike every night. And this dang dog comes with me. Gotta keep him healthy. Or he's got to keep me healthy, one or the other. Oh, pick 2. This is the dial. But before we can create the dial, then we have to enter in the subtasks. Now, the thing is that there's here's another feature I want to add. It's going to be the touch-based module. And then there's the education, which is the Buchholz Strategy, Fox motivational model, the process value chain, and the hook. I think these are all the key things that people need to know to really become effective. Why did I do that? What am I doing? Oh, this one. The key is like, how do you code that into a process that's easy? So I'm turning I want to turn education into pieces, which come step by. Hello, Gordon. Hi, buddy, bud. Which come step by step, and so the first major milestone here is the ability for somebody to be able to clearly identify something they need to get done. Let's get started. What's something you need to get done? I need to go for a run. Click next. Can you break that down into subtasks or take action now? I mean, I could break it into subtasks. Okay, so first I need to decide, are we going to go running or are we going to go on the bike? And I was thinking today, I want to go for the run because, you know, I got to tell you, like my body feels really great. Like I feel healthy. And the thing is, like, the more, like, if I run on occasion, at least like twice a week, and then I ride my bike the other days, I feel better. If I only run once a week, it's like for a couple of days, I feel great. And then like I start to go back into my normal thing again. Like I feel strong right now. And then I come back. The problem is if I go for a run, I got to come back. I got to take a cold shower. It's like, and the water is like 1 or 2 degrees right now. And it's just insanity. But because if I run, I got to wash my hair, and it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. Gordon, I don't want to. But the thing is, I've done it so many times now that I've realized that it's not the end of the world. Like, I'm not going to die. Like, I've basically reached, like, here in our Lago Deki, it's like, Lago Deki, temperature maybe. Temperature Lago Deki. It's only -3, actually. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I can survive. It's not the end of the world. I was pretty sure it was going to be the end of the world. And then we just did it every day. We did it every day, day after day after day. And now it's like, it's the 18th of December. And it's like, I mean, it could get down to -5, -6, even down to -8. But like, once you reach -3, -4, it's like, I don't know. Like, you kind of made it, right? You kind of like, you handled it. You did it, man. Like, you can do that. It's possible. And then it's like, well, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, well, welcome to life, man. Life can be annoying. All right, so what's the deal with this? Okay, so I think if you're gonna do that, then you gotta. No, it's not gonna work. What happened now? I just got confused. Why? I started overthinking it. All right, so can you break that down into subtasks or takes action now? I can't take action now. Why? Because you're debating what you're trying to make a choice about, are you going to go running or ride your bike? All right, let's do default. Let's just ride the bike, even though maybe running might feel better, but you don't have to go running. You can just ride the bike. All right, let's ride the bike. Maybe we'll change our mind, but it's for now, ride the bike. Which means what? It means I gotta end this freaking video. Okay, so now you're in subtasks. So I decided to click subtasks, and now we're in step 1. So step 1 is I gotta end this video, and then I gotta take all this clothes off, and then take my bike and go outside with the dog, and then we're just gonna go around the corner and put in my other music, and it'll be fine. Everything's gonna be great. And what? And what about tomorrow? You're gonna do more of this? So is there anything now that you could tell yourself? Okay, so let's go back to Rabbit Race Cold Tractor. So is there anything now that you could do? So finish planning and designing the onboarding screens and what? Onboarding screens. What's after the onboarding screens? Well, once you get the onboarding screens, the onboarding screen is eventually it's gonna get you into it's gonna get you launching the app. So I need people to, they need to select the two. Okay, you need to learn how to use the dial. Learn to use the dial. That's really the thing. So here's where we're learning how to create subtasks, and then you're gonna learn how to so now that we've learned how to break things down, now check Gemini for the next step. Okay, good. So we're here on this rabbit. Is there something there? No. We made it to this step, and then tomorrow we're just going to jump right back into Google Gemini because it actually has the next step. It's already there. What is this? Is this a subtask you need to start working on right now, or is there another task? Gordon. Okay. All right, let's go, buddy. All right, thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you next time as we continue to design.